WKTV, Steve McMurray is standing by on the line right now. Steve, good morning. Thanks for coming on.
Good morning, guys.
And we've had some people calling in about the issue of where you guys stand with DirecTV, and last night was the deadline, and we're told that you were taken off the DirecTV.
Yeah, the deadline passed, and no new agreement was reached, and so negotiations are continuing. They continued very late yesterday. So I mean, both sides are they're talking, and offers are going back and forth, but no official contract yet. So it's hard to say how long this might last. I mean, if you've seen the trades, this is there are a lot of disputes like this with Direct, and some of them last a couple days, some of them last a few weeks, and there are some smaller entities that aren't on at all. So I think it was there some progress maybe. First of all, the negotiations are handled at the corporate level, so we're not doing them up on Smith Hill, and it's not just our station. It's the 4 other stations that we own.
But you're a smaller company, so exactly. I'm assuming it makes it more difficult for you guys.
Well, that's without saying too much, it is certainly a challenge. We're in a different position than perhaps a broadcaster that owns 100 some odd stations, and I think that's sort of the norm in the business. And the unfortunate part is, if you're a viewer, I get it. I get the frustration. If you're a viewer, you want to see the Olympics. You want to see.
Boy, what an awful time for them to do this right in the middle of probably the biggest programming you guys have of the year. I mean, Olympics are huge right now. For them to do that is just unbelievable.
Well, the agreement, the original agreement was actually expired several months ago. So there's been several extensions granted.
Got it. Okay.
And that's about obviously that's about as far as I can say with that.
Quick question.
We've been telling people we're still working to try and get this resolved. You still see it over the air. Everything we do is streamed, so that's out there as well. But we understand folks' frustrations, and we're trying to get this resolved as soon as we can for everybody to. By
the way, the over-the-air signal for high definition is a true definition. Yeah. Versus what you get off your cable. It's actually a better picture over the air than it would be over cable.
I agree with that. Steve, a quick question. We just had a caller who brought up the issue. She maybe seemed to suggest that had you not had both signals, KTV and the CBS affiliate, the NBC and the CBS affiliate, that maybe this wouldn't have happened. Can you shed any light on that?
It's got nothing to do with it. Okay. Basically, we have the license to transmit our signals. The agreement is for them to retransmit any of our signals. So whether it's 1 station, 2 stations, 3 stations. In this case, it's 3 because we have the CW as well that's up for retransmission. So no, the CBS didn't add to it. When we went dark back in 07 or 09, whichever year it was, it was only the NBC side, and that was with Time Warner. It was still the same.
And currently, it's both CBS and NBC.
All 3 stations, I think.
And CW.
And
okay.
CW.
And part of that is because you use your WKTV high def signal. And then you have different channels within that, right? In order to do the CW, in order to do CBS.
Yeah, they're called subchannels, and and you get 4 subchannels per transmitter, for lack of a better term. So that's why the NBC is on the .1, and then we were able to put CBS on the .2 and move CW to 3. So, but they take those signals and they retransmit them.
Got it.
And so it's federal law that they have to have an agreement, and they have to compensate us. And the other point too is, we don't get all of that compensation. Certain network agreements, some of that retransmission money goes back to the network directly. So it's not, so it's not. Believe me, it's not landing all up on Smith Hill.
And at the end of the day, the local stations, the small town local stations get the hit, and the viewers get the hit, which is a problem.
And that's what we're trying to avoid. And we've been, that's why we went on and say, we know folks want to watch the Olympics. I mean, they can. The antenna, like you said, Bill, it's the clearest picture you can possibly get.
Yep.
Everything is streamed. and it's actually streamed in real time. So if you don't want to stay up until midnight to watch the, the end of the gymnastics, that's an option. But we want this resolved as soon as we can. But it's again, these discussions are above my level.
Understood. We all get into that situation. Steve, listen, thanks so much. Steve McMurray from WKTV will be anticipating the return. Thanks so much.
All right. Thanks, guys.